Man, I've had money come up and divide family before. It is, when you're talking about borrowing money from a family member, I think the same theory applies, that borrowing equals, you just have to assume you're not going to get that money back. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You ever done that with family?
If I give money, I was taught that lesson very early in life. If you are going to give money to family, then you should not expect it back, and it's on you. But I think money is probably the number one cause of why I've seen relationships sour in my family.
Abby, have you ever borrowed money from your parents?
From family? From my family?
Yeah, because I'm assuming they haven't come to you.
Oh, no. Well, actually, you'd be surprised. They're like, my mom was like, what are you getting me for Christmas this year? I'm like, why am I getting you you guys just went to the Virgin Islands for 2 weeks. I'm struggling to pay rent, Carrie. But no, I get money from them every now and then.
I was financially illiterate when I was younger, and I accrued a significant amount of credit card debt. And I went to Dad and the Bank of Dad, which has a phenomenal interest rate of 0. He loaned me the money so I could pay off the credit card, but I paid every single dime back.
Okay, good. All right, so this is a complicated email we got about lending money, helping family members out, then needing it. Dear Bercho, I'm a 28-year-old female and doing well financially all on my own. I'm a big girl. 10 years ago, when I was 18, my father and mother kicked me out of the house and refused to help me financially. I won't get into the ins and outs of being kicked out, but I was only 18 and still needed financial help from my parents. Fair enough. My dad told me, you're an adult at 18 and you should never need or have to ask or help or ask for help or the rest of your life.
Well,
he said it was time for me to be an adult. So I had to move out and pay for everything. During that time, I really struggled and even spent a month living in my car. Now, 10 years later, tables have turned. My father reached out to me a couple of days ago asking for money. He and my mother have fallen behind on their bills, and he needs $10,000 to keep the home they live in, the home they kicked me out of. They must really be hurting to call me. When he called me, I actually laughed and told him no. Yep. I know he's my father, and they funded my life until I was 18, but that was their job as parents, and job is capital letter, so she is serious. They made me, and it was their responsibility to raise me, but the fact they wouldn't help me when I was 18, and I went months hardly eating and even spending that time living in a car, I still haven't forgiven them. And I will never forget his speech about adults should never ask for money. So, no, ... I am not helping him out. I refuse to. I don't even feel bad about it either. I told him exactly what he told me at 18. I know a couple of you, Bert, Mo, have had complicated past with your parents, so I wanted to hear what you all would do and what you think about my decision. Then she writes, sorry, not sorry.
Wow. That's tough. I mean, I would like to think that I would probably come around years later, and if I found my dad in a situation like that, or my mom, and I would probably help, because I've lived out of a car. It wasn't as long as her. It was only a week, but that's not fun, not having a home for any amount of time. But I'm not mad at her, to be honest. I agree with her that it was their job to help as parents, and I do think that was harsh to say that after 18 you should always be on your own. You should never ask money, because even as adults we come upon hard times. Sometimes it's inevitable. But if she doesn't want to give the money because she's going to make her father stick to what he said, I'm not mad at her.
I'm taking this email for face value because we're not getting any of the details as far as getting kicked out and in any of that. I would hope that regardless of, unless it's something absolutely extreme, that as a parent, you're going to be there for your kid, right? And these parents were not there for their child for whatever reasoning they had. That's not something I subscribe to personally. It's something they felt, I guess, was going to teach grit. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea to kick their child out at 18 and give them no support whatsoever. Especially, I don't know if they knew they were homeless and starving. And if they did and still didn't do anything, then no, I'm not giving you the $10,000. Now, if we want to go to a notary and work out some kind of payment plan and I can loan you $10,000 and then you are legally required to pay me back, then sure, because that's a responsible adult thing to do.
Ooh.
I have never liked the dynamic of thinking just because your parents funded your life until you were 18 that you somehow now owe them money, because once again, it was their choice to have you and bring you into this world and to raise you. And the dynamic is just simply not equal. So the fact that they're now coming to you for money after having a specific set of rules of at 18, no money is given to you, I think you have every right to deny them the $10,000, especially if they have a history of mistreating money or if they got into this themselves in this situation because they are not smart financially. But I think what Kristen brought up is a really great idea that, okay, maybe you give them $5,000. Maybe you're not the solution to all their problems, but maybe you loan them $5,000, put them on a payment plan. But I think if you want to deny them the money, you have the right to.
Man, that's harsh. Even if I had a hard line like this dad does, I'm not letting my kid go homeless. I'm giving him money. So I can understand why that scar is there. I like Kristen's idea because doing the right thing is never the wrong thing to do. Your parents need the 10 grand, but I also wouldn't just throw it at them. I'd make it a legal document, like you said. Yeah.
I would go through the legal processes and be like, yeah, I want to help you, but this is how I'm going to help you, and either you accept it or you don't.
I would not be able to live with myself. Even I have a crappy relationship with my parents most of my life, but I would not be able to live with myself if I knew that they were about to be homeless and I could help that because financially I'm doing fine. I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
It would be hard, but I ain't gonna lie, it'd be a little easier if you let me be homeless for a month.
Yeah.
I understand her pain.
The Bert Show.